Well, I was just struggling a little bit on the front of this thing. I'm trying to splice a whole bunch of different cars together. Well, actually, just one and a quarter cars. It's just a few random little pieces because I've got a good chassis up here. Oh, and I just got the tailpipe. That's all ready to go. And just got to do some fitting, some twisting. I'm going to have to take my brake line. If I go by specs, it's supposed to come down off the left side of the chassis, hang over to the right and loop over. I just don't like the way that's too close to the exhaust pipe. So I'm going to push the tube and give it a little more length up the front. If I have to, I'll do a full loop just to bring it down the other side. It's a tough call because these chassis, the later ones, even though the chassis are basically all identical, the later ones had the dual pipes. I thought this was going to progress more down towards the center. It doesn't. So I'm going to have to reroute that brake line. But what I'm doing down here is just, I've got the new battery sill spliced in. Not new, but out of another one. It only had really one spot of rust, which was right in here, so that was just a super bead fill. And all the seams have been done. I need to do some more fill here and there. My biggest problem is with the front wheel well and the webbing in here. Somebody in the past has taken the stiffener support and done the old trick of blowing it out so they can do an oil change cheap and easy rather than drop it down. So I have to make a new one of these. But the big problem I had with the front section I'm putting on, because this is all good and intact, but the this little shelf piece right in here, obviously because of brake fluid breaks down the paint, and then the paint gets rusted, or the chassis body parts get rusted because now they're exposed. And that thing was just in such cheese shape. Like, I can't reuse that. And they're actually, the one out in my other 69 is in just as bad a shape, if not worse. That side's fine. I can use all of that. But this one was just so bad. So I just got handy and I decided, well, I'm going to have to make a new one. So I took my, of course, classic old cardboard. The handiest cardboard for doing this is old empty cases of beer cans. And I made this piece up here. Now this piece fits and replaces that right up here. It goes in just like this. And then I have to make an allowance. 3/4 inch here, 3/4 inch over here. There's a big overhang over here. You can see it. I've got that drawn up. But just to make a new piece like this so I can do a full firewall mount. But this also has the wheel well mount. So that's a bit of a bugger because you can't really roll it. I don't have the ability to stamp a new one, and this isn't a part available. So I just got creative and ended up making one up. So like I said, I had the pattern. I made one already. And I just wasn't happy with it. It was just too fill weld and garbage. So I just went over to a different technique and I made it two pieces the other way. So there's the piece now. So that's the bottom side is just a whole lot of webs just to allow for that curve. And that's the new piece right here. So it just has to be buffed. There's some little buttons from the top of those MIGs, but this is the one that's now going to go in and replace the one that got taken out. It's got some extra angle on the front, but that's the new piece right there. And you can see on the side that goes down, and there's going to be a cutoff down here, a diagonal cutoff, and a little support on it. It's part of the stiffener or the web down underneath. Now I'm going to have to drill it out, obviously, for the grommet, for the that's the one that goes down to the clutch. And not sure if that's also a brake line. It doesn't matter. And a couple other spots. There's the little holes that go in. I'm going to have to anchor a couple nuts on there. That's for the divider and the safety valve for the brakes. So I'll lay it out and find out where they go. And I'll just tag on a couple little 1/4 inch National Fines on the layout there. And we've got a new piece.